That was the point, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Uh, Absolutely. Yep. Oh god, I've just. Why do you say that, Crank? And then I open it, and the first thing I see is fucking Rattenpijk met Ratten Roundsheet rework van Medico Retard. According to the announcement. Oh, was Ustream's Leftover vs Bandits. Then Altuski versus APM. Oh, okay. Al versus APM. And then you have No Scrim versus Vanguard Rangers. Well, the last one you play, so that's kind of difficult. Mm-hmm. Oh, please, fucking Barracuda is gonna pull something retarded again, please. Is Bloody shot calling? Fair enough. Yeah. Yes. Have a good stream. I'll see you in your stream.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the last day of the CBR season for the regular matches, not including any type of form of tiebreakers, etc. So we are quickly going into the unit bans that I also quickly have to upload again. And we have Rattan Pikeman saved and Kokos saved. Very interesting choices. Kokos being actually one of the harder counters to the Rattan units as they are incendiary. Then we have Ben Siphonaris, Star Wars, Yanyu Daos, Lion Roars, Shenjis, and Modaos. Very interesting. In general, the Yanyu Dao ban, I think, points a little bit towards trying to play shielded blobs and using spear sergeants as frontlines, I'm pretty sure. In general, I'm not the biggest fan of banning Cavs, because there is always a replacement in how the game currently works. So many good options. So yeah, I do think it's maybe not the most valuable ban when it comes to shaping your strategy. But of course, the unit alone is pretty strong. And against certain shields, I guess, arguably, you can do that if you have not a real better idea to do so. Yeah, special bans in general are pretty standard. Most teams actually do not like to play against Shenjis and Lion Roar. What is currently still open is Falconettis. They also received a recent buff to their fire rate and ammunition capacity. So we might see Falcos being implemented. On Fjord, I think they're also not the worst choice. I think they can be quite valuable if you can protect them. So yeah. But I assume that what I think bandits will most likely play more chaotic. Again, I think that's definitely their jam in general. And I do think Fjord is a map that really promotes playing more chaotic, more fast-paced. So I do not think that they would use Falcos, because Falcos are inherently very slow unit that also wants the biggest size of blob fights on both sides. So yeah, I'm actually not really convinced if that's the play. Also, let me quickly post the stream link somewhere, because I want attention, so we post. Okay. I hope the lobby is also getting fixed, and then we should be ready. The lobby should pop. 3 minutes over the time. Not too bad. Okay. Grass is getting sorted now. In general, I think one thing we have to discuss before is also who is the favorite. I also got asked beforehand by someone, who do I think is going to win this matchup? I think that's always a very interesting question, where you can test yeah, my knowledge and your guys' knowledge or prediction capabilities. And I do think it's a 60-40 chance for Leftovers to win this. I do think Leftovers is a more consistent team compared to Bandits currently. But Bandits is capable of creating like absolute chaos and surprise people. And Chopper had like multiple like games during all the seasons where he was capable of getting like or developing a real uncommon strat, something that takes your opponent by surprise. And sometimes this surprise gives Bandits enough momentum to really beat a team that is better on average, on most days, that would be better on most days. So I do think it's very possible for them to win. I think also the map is open enough that there's so many opportunities for different strategies that can work, that there's no like very fixed game plan. So it's not contributing to like the more consistent team always winning, I would say. So yeah, that's at least my prediction. As always, thanks a lot, Temple, for the raid with 50 people coming over. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We are currently enjoying Bandits versus Leftovers, and the lobby is about to pop. And also, thanks for the follow bounce. Thanks a lot, man. Also, Voji, Tyke, welcome, welcome. I do hope you guys have a good time. Also, Matt, welcome, welcome. And going over the warbands, very, very strong green focus here, which is not a big surprise in the current meta. With Rattan Pikes, Couteliers being so strong, it's very tempting to take them. Also, Rattan Round Shields, very strong pick currently. And we do see my anticipated Falconettis. But on the Bandit side, that's actually surprising. I would have thought we will see them more on the side of Leftovers. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to see how these Falcos now work. Myself, I was like, nah, not too impressed with the buffed Falcos. They are basically still the same, but I think if you valued them before on certain maps, in some situations, I think they can be better. I also do apologize in advance for my lagging voice in these loading screens. It's something the game does currently to my recording. We have to live with it. Okay, and I hope my voice now is back to where it should be. And we can enjoy everything in full quality. By the way, the new improved top bar here looks actually amazing. That's not an overlay by me, it's actually in-game. One of the UI reworks that actually improved the game. And we see a kind of even split by Bandits, using the Falconettis to open the breach. I think, yeah, that was one of the values they had already before. They were prepared against the Sally with the camels here, like double camels in front of the gate. I don't know, like they must have really expected a big Sally coming. But I'm not the biggest Camel fan currently. Like, there's too many fire units that are currently very strong because they're also countering the Rattan pikemen or the whole Rattan units in general. Also, more muskets being on the field because of these reasons. And then bringing camels that are very vulnerable to fire. Like, 1 maybe is okay for certain situations, but 2 I think is already overkill. And Benicalo, thanks a lot for the follow. We appreciate your support. Okay, Bandits giving themselves option currently. By the way, we have to also appreciate that this map has no tower pushing phase. I absolutely love it. Need more of these maps. I think we are going a little bit into the defender's perspective here to have the better camera angle on seeing what is happening on the whole map. Okay, Falco's also opening the gate to be safe. Okay, Bandit's definitely taking their time. This is one of the slower opening phases on this map. And now one of the questions is, how do they deal with the Cocos? The Cocos in this map are really, really crucial. Because they deal massive damage into these AoE situations. Like here in this choke, in the gate. And the ways to counter them might be a hero rush before the game, relying on your range units or your range heroes or heavy heroes to dive them and eliminate them before the push, or classical multi-flank pushing that I would prefer because it also enables the counterplay against the Cocos, like for your heroes. And for now, it looks like Bandits are definitely going for multiple push angles, but towards the B side, so going over the wall, through the gate, and through the breach. I guess. Okay, graphic bug is gone. Also, predictions in the chat are also kind of 50-50, with a little bit bias towards Bandits and bias towards Leftovers. And we see the first little fight breaking out here on the A point. We're a little bit zooming in on that. Technos Cuff going through, getting Kanki shields for free. And since it's Coteliers, they will come back very soon. There is the next charge. One side easily cleaned, but Bandits are strong on the other side, doing a good job at blocking the supply, which is a very crucial thing for the A and B fight. You need to get the supply blocked. In this case, even kept. Very, very good. But now the full rotation is coming in. Cocos get caught before the fight. And we see most likely a pretty even fight here on the B point. And don't forget, the reinforcements to the A point are coming. And I think Leftovers definitely need to take the trade here as positive as possible. But afterwards they need to retreat. There's no chance how they're going to hold A, in my opinion. And if they start pushing down for A and B once more, I don't know. I think that would be a waste of their actually currently, good first trade. Getting a lot of kills on these heroes. But yeah, Bandits already kept A. And we see a solid reset for now, I think, on the C point. Good decision by Leftovers here. Accepting the fact that they're coming back onto the A and B point, if you did not absolutely Roffle Stomp your opponent, is not impossible, but very costly and most likely not worth it. Because there's multiple other opportunities where you can fight. Now it's important that they get most units out that are rotating. Very solid trap here into the retreating units of Classico. Good caps here also by Kanki, cleaning up some of the retreating units. And Bandits getting the unit trade back. Leftovers did not retreat fast enough. And this already might open a window for Bandits to make their next move. Xenos asking in chat if Rattan Vipers are banned. No, Rattan Vipers are open and they are absolutely disgusting on this map. That's for sure a thing to keep in mind. And I also wonder why we not see them as much on the battlefield here. Only one set of them marching forward here by Tiroler. But I guess on the A and B fight, they are not as desirable as they are on the C fight, on the supply fight, on the end cap. So I think reserving them for these fights makes sense. Nice trap bait. Maybe also Kev bait. Okay, Kev players accept that this is not chargeable. Very well played by the Shield player. I think it was Mando doing a good job there, baiting the trap. It was close to baiting a Kev. Some hero action here on the C point, which results in a dead pike most likely. Yes, good catch here. Unnecessary dead, and Atari might also lose his unit here. Very good move here by Classico, instantly going onto the catch of the retreating unit. Even if he does lose his unit for it, it does not. It's a good trade, trading a gold for a green. But he manages to get out fully. Well played by Classico. There you see this individual class shining through. That he's a very fast player that thrives for murdering units. Okay, bandits look like they might go for a two-sided push once more, which is a good thing. I think Fjord is a map that actually really supports multi-flank pushes. The only difficult part about it is the coordination, because the pathing on the map is not really straightforward and your people really need to have a good feeling for it. And you need to scrim for this. But no, I was wrong. Bandits fully commit to rush C with a very solid trap into the rotation. Leftovers are actually waiting out the whole thing. Only Hex committing. Hex maybe a little bit early. Kokos also being too early without a proper frontline. Also, two players on Kev. Actually very, very weird unit choices here in leftovers. And fighting this fight with 2 units down is not the best idea. And then Uza's not even capitalizing here on these shield maidens on the side. Weird choices on the leftover side that most likely will cost them this fight here.
As you command.
Bandits staying compact and slowly going forward. Also with a good attempt to backcap the end cap, getting already a quarter of the end cap and forcing 1v1s with the shield maidens. And this is exactly what I say, like bandits thrive in chaos, and they managed to create proper chaos so far. And leftovers did not really find an answer to stabilize their ranks and have a clear communication. You saw it by the picked Cavs, like these Cavs were absolutely useless in the C fight. So they would have either needed to accept that C is gone and retreat and get proper unit setup for the supply. Or the Cav players must have swapped prior to that push. Because bandits did not absolutely speed push, like these Cavs should have been swapped. The supply is close, bandits didn't speed run. And bandits made a lot of territory already. But there was enough time for leftovers to get a reset on the supply side here. So how are they going to make their defense happen here? A lot of Cav actually. But now the glorious moment of the camels is about to come. But what are these camels doing? This is absolute crap. Like, no, we don't do this. Like, these camels need to stay here. Because where is the Cav supposed to come? The Cav can only come through this choke. So the camels do not leave this choke. Of course, they don't want to get poked by the archers, etc. But yeah, this guy moving up so far here is not the play and not the way. Also, bracing them here, making them immobile so he cannot pluck here. This nah. This is not how you do it. And the second camel in the same position. is actually a very, very bad idea. But what is a good idea is the two-sided push here, taking the top, trying to drag out leftovers. Now leftovers need to adapt to where the pushes are coming. They have enough cav to quickly redistribute their forces. And bandits are slowly starting to move in. Now the camels are in a good position, shielding their push. Cav player on the leftover side immediately stops his charge. Good decision. But these monastics, I think, making it deep into the phalanx, but die one shot. These full cav defenses, I'm not a fan. Like, so much anti-cav on the bandits. They had a good read on how the leftovers want to defend this. Brought proper units. And then they just basically get so many unit kills for absolutely free. As much as cavs are supposed to go in a little bit earlier than in the average siege, you cannot run in head first into anti-cav in most cases. You will lose a lot, but bandits didn't stay tight enough and they had a lot more gaps. And then later when the infantry of leftovers arrived, it was still enough to clean up this fight. But they eat a very, very juicy trap here. Unit rate nonetheless in the favor of leftovers, and now bandits are also dropping low on time and units, and that's actually a very, very bad combination. And I would say my 60-40 for this game already rise up to 90 to 10%. Leftovers also having a lot of high quality units left. Also enough anti-cav to work against these hussars. That bandits definitely reserved for this end cap. They definitely plan to have the supply by now. And now only work over the end cap. There the hussars would be actually an absolute glorious unit. Good comeback by leftovers, actually. I must really say, like, after them failing here the C defense with like these absolute basic mistakes, I was very concerned, and I did actually think they lose this. But they proved me wrong. They came back absolute strong, and now it depends a lot again on these cav timings on both sides. These leftover bandit Falcos trying to snipe some range. I mean, you see they are still pretty inaccurate, and like 1v1ing other range units is not a trait of Falconetti still. Yeah, no, I'm not impressed. And they should have used the Falconettis to win against this melee blob here, to enable their cavs to capitalize when the anti-cav is poked. Bad decision making here by the Falco player. Even if I appreciate, like on an emotional level, I appreciate him trying to kill range, but it's not the correct decision. And bandits horribly lose this last trade. And I think that's GG in game number 1. Leftovers not convincingly beat them, I would say. Like, there was still mistakes in it, but they definitely fought way more effective. They got out-rotated a little bit, and they fought bad, like based on the wrong unit picks on the C point. But in general, a lot of these fight results were very leftover-sided, because they actually did the fighting, I think, more precise, and maybe also with a slightly better unit composition, without me being able to really pin that down to singular choices. Yeah, but good and entertaining game so far. And once more, a sign why Fjord is one of my favorite competitive maps. Because it's no tower pushing phase, a lot of possible pushes, a lot of aggression possibilities for attackers and defenders. And G1 here with a 337, 179 unit kills on the bandits, taking the MVP. Very solid 17 was taken out here by him. Well played. Being outstanding his team by far. In general, for anyone who is not used to this, like the scoreboards here in these lobbies are messed up. So the MVP is accurate and everyone else is like kind of randomly sorted. Because like, yeah, 19, for example, here we having a rough game with 19 units. would not end up so high here on the scoreboard, and you also see it here, battle score. On the other side, Let Me Cook with a very impressive 7-0 and medium impressive 105 cap point and very impressive 154 unit. Absolutely carrying this game. The 4 leftovers, very, very strong performance. Also Gigo Rossi here with very strong 172 kills. Also taking out a lot of units. Definitely great job by the origin, I think. So yeah. Guys, we are heading into a very break until we are back with the second lobby. You guys get a snack and a drink or a quick toilet and we will be back.
Virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace.
And hello everyone. Back to game number 2, Bandits versus Leftovers. Thanks a lot, Queen, for donating 5 subs. Unfortunately, there was no alert box in the break screen. But yeah, thanks a lot, man, for supporting the stream. Also so continuously over the time. Yeah, and you guys are absolutely correct. Enable streamer mode. Besides that, everyone, we quickly remind ourselves about the picks and bans for leftovers versus Smurfs. Leftover Smurfs versus Bandits. Sorry, since both teams are pretty much located in Smurfs. That made me mess up the team names. But yeah, I think we saw a pretty good game one. And I'm quite surprised that we didn't see like Rattan Viper abuse from the Bandit side at all. Because they could have solved some of the problems with the opposing Kokos. And also other Rattan Vipers. Because you can have some very sneaky angles with them. Because they have pretty high firing range and you can abuse high angles to shoot over objects. To get sneaky picks on range. On the other hand, I think they brought Hwang. So it makes absolute sense. And it worked. But yeah, I was also surprised that we didn't see more Rattan Vipers because I think they are pretty brutal on the map. Maybe more in game 2. Maybe also speaking about the Falcos, since they got changed and recently buffed. I think, yeah, as said before, like this game, they didn't have the biggest impact. They could have been better, but they actually did not really. Yeah, did not really provide like crazy value besides opening the breaches. But in the most fights, yeah, for example, like shooting into range, they are not precise for it. So you really need to hit a blob. And leftovers did play very spread out, also very cav heavy defense, especially on the supply. So Hercules didn't have a real chance to shine there. I think, at least for my liking, they stay very situational. But as always, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you see Falconettes as a like super strong unit currently? And you say like after the buffs they are a must bring for competitive teams? Are they maybe even the counter, to shield blobs? Or do you think they're still maybe a little bit mid and situational? I'm actually pretty interested in seeing it. Also, greetings to one of my favorite FTPs in the chat. Tozin as well. Bobos, Xenos, Proof, Gigo 1 or 2. I think it's originally Gigo in the chat. Also, no, never. Welcome, welcome. Also, one of the long-term supporters of my stream. Currently still holding place number 2 in the eternal list. So yeah, special welcome. Okay, lobby is filled, casters are set. I think we are very ready to go. So both teams are agreeing to launch the lobby, and we see maybe quicker games, and I can have a little bit of my food in between. Ah, perfect. Perfect lobby pop. Also, I think I missed also the follow by Hawkos Porkos. Thanks a lot, buddy, and welcome. Unit choices once more pretty cav heavy here for leftovers. Claymores for the buff. Silence unit also for once. And also a set of Falconettes, I guess. Also for the breach and I guess for the best use they could possibly find afterwards. No defensive Falcos. Which kind of makes sense. I think they're pretty high commitment for punishing these chokes that people can avoid by just pushing multiple flanks. And then the Falcos are very open in a lot of positions to getting killed. So yeah, I think it's a solid choice to not bring them on defense. But definitely also shows that their like DPS and CC value is not so high that people are willingly taking that risk. Also, no Kokos here on the Bandit side. Very interesting. So they didn't draft for this, like a big advantage in these blob fights, which very good read on the use of leftovers. Okay, and we are going here also for the lower mouse speed, so the camera feels a little bit more smooth. A and B spawn, I think they want to open both gates so they can abuse the respawn advantage through an open gate, which makes total sense. So some preparation is needed for playing Fjord. And it looks like, because they have their main forces already on this B side, they want to do maybe a kind of gate breach styled push mainly, and then with the respawns take the A point. That's at least how the positioning and the setup already looks. Let's see if I'm right about this. Right breach open, Falconettis did their job. Okay, nice high angle shots trying to hit here. Nice try, but not perfectly precise. I think that's something you can actually try. I mean, that's something a mechanic you could have maybe like learned prior to the match, how to hit this spot, because it's a very common waiting spot. On the other hand, the damage might not be enough to do significant damage, and then wasting this time is not really a good trade-off, I would say. Because it delays the Falco player from swapping his unit or bringing this kind of slow unit into a position where they can use it during a push. Also looks like they're musket opening the other breach. Okay. So they definitely not want to have any disadvantages on this A and B fight. I love you, Punk. Bandits here in kind of neutral waiting positions. Good hero scouting, by the way. Something maybe if you're from a lower elo team currently, like having all these heroes spread out on the wall, giving consistent information to your shot caller is very good practice. Also, it denies opponent muskets from free climbing and throwing on your stuff. Seeing a free musket, Dual Blade, do your job. Pretty late reaction here by the Dual Blade. But also good reaction by leftovers, immediately following up with more heroes and some units. Bandits need to rotate here. And find the perfect split to answer B and not lose A. And that's always a very crucial split-second decision, how many players do you distribute to which side. Because you always want to win the bigger fight without like insta-losing the other side. So it's a very crucial numbers game that massively requires information given by your players. And their communication as one of the key skills for good competitive players comes in very, very strongly. Very good trap here into the bandit units. Not the ideal positioning for bandits to defend there in the courtyard. Good anti-cav here by Classico. Being oriented to the bridge. But now joining the main fight when the cavs are about to respawn. Maybe a little bit too much greed. And now this cav might hit... no. I think there was enough lances sticking out into that direction. All fine, all good. He found a good timing between farming units and still denying the cav. Very, very solid A take here by leftovers. And let's see how bandits are resetting. Are they trying to get a C fight? Some Orochis here are definitely alone in the front. Orochi Maiden, very agile units, very fitting to the bandits playstyle, which revolves around chaos and speed in a lot of games. Eating a very nasty trap to their rotation here. And leftovers are recooking their unit composition, taking a time for the reset, but still throwing these traps. I mean, you have a certain capacity of traps that you don't need for your pushes when you're playing very concentrated, like 3-4 push actions. So you can throw them in between, and they got like good success here. In general, I'm not the biggest fan to like throw traps on waiting units because these players are not occupied by anything, mostly. And only very, very unlucky or bad players get surprised by these traps and lose units to it. So it's a pretty unlikely gamble. But now the C action is going to happen. It looks like also bandits on a lot of Kev. I actually hope they're retreating their units here. Okay, one Kev sneaking to the side. Yeah. I mean, he got noticed, so like his pressure from the other side is maybe not the greatest, but he finds a way onto the supply, into some Rattan Pikes. Not the worthiest trade. Even if he kills most of the Rattan Pikes, it's not worth it. And C is taken by leftovers here for free. Bandit did the correct choice of only trying to bait some time waste there and not committing for C, because they were so Kev heavy. And leftovers here setting up in the middle currently. I think they're evaluating where the bandits are set up the most, what type of disgusting range units they have abusing the high ground. And here we have our glorious Rattan Vipers. Most likely the most broken unit on this map, especially for the price. They're 135 leadership, and they make the time for the attackers very, very hard when they try to march up all these hills. And we see a mostly left-sided push here. One set of Reapers might get caught out here. Good dodge off the Hussars. And now getting a punish in. Very good micromanagement here by the Reaper player. Tiroler doing a great job here punishing the Hussars that were a little bit too hyped for the free kill. And leftovers in the meantime already got their Falcos set up here. And the middle flank is also now coming in, but bandits are mass flooding their Kev now into this blob. And the anti-Kev is pretty absent. It's absolutely wrongly positioned. The Phalanx is way out of position. Like, where was he guarding? Like, the Kev cannot run up here. Like, don't guard this side. This is basic map knowledge, guys. And therefore, bandits absolutely murder leftovers in this push. And this is where maybe underlining my point why playing anti-Kev in general is one of the hardest jobs in this game. Because you have a slow unit that needs to keep up with a very fast unit. A unit that is most likely pretty vulnerable to a lot of other units. And it requires a lot of understanding of timing and map knowledge. And you always need to balance, like Classico in the first fight, between keeping off these Kevs from your blob and still having impact on the melee fight. So yeah, Phalanx, or in general like anti-Kev gameplay, is one of the smartest job in the team. That's my hot take for today. And you definitely see in these unit comps that are not like mass anti-Kev, how crucial it is. Because basically, this one player making a mistake makes his whole team lose very expensive units for free into these, like, yeah, spammed Cavs by bandits. And we see a kind of similar lineup again, and another time a Phalanx being at the very, very back here. At least one Phalanx is here in the front. But the nasty Rattan Vipers here out of their cover shoot their poison into the blob. But now leftovers have a very, very dense blob. And the bandit lineup is not looking really, really good. They are very spread out, they are very thin, and it looks like they're getting absolutely murdered and outnumbered. Also a lot of kind of badly timed rotations here. But the Phalanx being out of position and getting punished. The rest of leftovers being here very, very dense, very concentrated. Weird Phalanx placements, by the way, guys. Like, leftovers definitely need to work on their anti-cav placement in general, it looks like. But nonetheless, they are absolutely farming the infantry blobs. And I would say this is over by now. Very, very good coordinated, dense blob. And bandits were not capable of doing enough threat and chaos to leftovers to make them split more apart for their cavs to really get some damage in. And then you really start feeling the lack of solid infantry. Now the cav chaos is way better and they might get a solid re-clear here. And once again, like, the Phalanx was weirdly positioned and microed. Okay, bandits with a very strong cav comeback here. Unfortunately, unit rate is still pretty unwinnable, I would still call it. Aber only now getting captured here. Leftovers just need to play chill and cool. And they should win it. Nonetheless, great mini comeback here from bandits on this end cap.
Our legend makes us immortal.
And leftovers do not really want to lose time.
We go to war, my
2 minutes 50 on the clock, I guess, are justifying going fast. Also getting some more bandit units for free here on the supply. Main force already marching up, no time to waste. And now bandits need a wonder. They actually need a wonder, but these Rattan Pikes are not the wonder, getting absolutely rolled over by this nicely positioned cav. Like, very nice angle to go absolutely through here. Another cav coming, and it looks like leftovers' best anti-cav strategy is using their own cavs to their advantage. And now bandits are basically out of units, and leftovers have a very dense blob here on the end cap and are about to finish what they started so amazingly in the last blob fight, where they absolutely dominated bandits. Yeah, GG. Leftovers winning as I predicted, but I must say the second game did not look like 60-40 at all. Like, leftovers looked very, very solid for the most part as a whole team, while the anti-cav gameplay was very improvable. And yeah, very good back and forth game. I was very entertained. I absolutely hope the evening continues in this fashion. So yeah, we're heading into roughly a 10-minute break. So stay tuned. And I take a chance to get some food in. You guys might as well.
Virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. Virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no compassion is the heart of courtly grace. Virtue is our noblest heritage.
Hey, I'm back for game number 2 here. Picks and bans for Itushki versus APM. Just a quick note before already asking in the chat. It's the main side of the homepage. You navigate by yourself in the subcategories. There you find every information about game results, the brackets, etc., etc. I couldn't give you a way better link in between here. Okay, saved by Itushki from Kokos. Yeah, very standard save, I would say. A very strong unit to have a special that has high impact at low cost. The APM save of Sound Phalanx also makes a lot of sense. Also considering how they played in the past games I've seen. Yeah, Siphonaris being banned, Star Wars being banned, and Incendiary Archers being banned. Pretty standard on Itushki's side. I think Incendiary Archers are definitely banned just to protect these Kokos from exploding. You're getting picked off against these high grounds. Line Roar ban, pretty standard. Banning Couturiers also a very smart choice by APM. I think they struggled a lot with this like ultra fast calves hitting their blob from all sides. So denying a little bit of the crazy calf spam makes sense for them. And also taking out Rattan Vipers makes the game way more playable, especially on the attacker side. So yeah, wise choices by APM, I would say. And yeah, with these bans and in mind, we are heading over to the lobby screen. The lobby should be kind of filled, and we are only waiting for 2 more players, I think. All casters are already in position. Also, thanks a lot for Temple sending the direct link. Massive help. Thanks a lot, buddy. That's one of the reasons Temple got mod on my channel. Always useful. Not only as a streamer, even also as a mod and chat and chatter in the stream. Thanks a lot, man. And as long as we are waiting, let's speculate again. Who is going to win this? I think I don't want to sound rude or harsh, but I give like Itushki a 90 to 10% chance of getting a 2-0 here. It might sound like pretty harsh, disrespectful against APM, but that's actually not meant in that way. I think just that the last games we saw of APM they struggled a lot with a lot of basics, which is very, very hard then to have success in this like top bracket of CB. And I do think they definitely need to work on these, but they also always have the potential to improve. And I do hope they keep going, they do improve, because they have some really talented players in there that I think can fulfill their potential together if they keep going and keep improving. So yeah, I just hope they don't lose faith, because of course like losing a lot is not good for your motivation. I see that. But yeah, I do hope, and I mean, one part of me definitely wants them to win a game just to spice it up, and the underdog being successful, I think is always a good story. But yeah, in all fairness, I think Itushki, they have shown a lot of consistency, also making even the absolute top-rated teams sweat in a lot of situations. Them also having, I would say, the player-for-player advantage across the team, like higher individual skill level. So yeah, this will be a very rough one for APM, and I also think the map is a map because it's creating more chaos, and APM is a team that I feel like is struggling in chaos, and especially if you're getting outskilled 1-by-1 hero-wise, I think it's a very, very tough perspective to win a game. But as always, when I make these more extreme predictions, I'm very happy if they prove me wrong, and if they absolutely rough stomp Itushki, I will take everything back I said and glaze them for being the absolute best team that is way smarter than me. So yeah, You guys are definitely invited to prove me maximum wrong. Okay, Marzipan also has a very one-sided opinion on it. Yeah, I see, I see. So yeah, feel free to leave your ideas in the chat. Who is going to win and why are they going to win? By the way, that's one of the reasons why I'm not making polls for this type of questions, because I'm actually more interested in the reasoning than in the result. I mean, the result can always be right or wrong, and there's no really further information in it. But your guys' reasoning for why are people going to win, how are they going to win? Yeah, this is more interesting to me at least. So yeah, I definitely appreciate every opinion here in the chat. It shapes my view. Vent asking for mod because it was promised to him 5,000 years ago. I mean, Vent, I'm old, yeah, but like, I'm not that old. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah. I will think about this later. But for now, we think about the unit compositions here on Fjord of Heilung. And we once more see a lot of blue-green mix going for at least 4 fights per team, which makes a lot of sense on this map because there's a lot of opportunities where you can go aggressive as defender and use these additional units. Also with the current like state of the leadership, I think with 780 leadership, it's a pretty good idea. Also, General Sturgeon, thanks a lot for the follow, buddy. I do really appreciate the support. And we see a lot of Cocos, 1 Coco per push here on the side of Altushki. And that makes total perfect sense because they were putting a lot of effort into the pick and ban phase to make these Cocos shine a lot. Okay. Two-sided spawn, I guess. Yeah. And let's see if Altushki is also going for the slower approach with opening the breaches. At least one breach is going to get opened by the slingers. In my opinion, the better choice because they are super, super cheap. And they also have a solid speed on opening the breach. They are basically... What are they? 80 leadership? I'm not quite sure. But like actually they are so cheap that you do not really lose a lot of combat power in a warband. So yeah, I think they are superior pick to our Falconettis. And now, APM with the instant aggression here towards the small site. Not getting much value, and then now the A point is already exposed. It doesn't matter too much if they just want to go for one trade anyway. But they needed to wait out the rotation. And now they need to go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You cannot wait until the next trap is ready. Also, these units here not moving is a huge mistake. They already need to be here. They need to be here in this area. They cannot wait. And here you see like APM struggling with the coordination. And this map requires this type of coordination a lot. Not the best positioning here also for the double Shenji. But they got in solid value. But they have threats to their Shenjis. Shenjis might get taken out. APM winning the fight for now. But reinforcements are coming in already. And the Shenjis are getting threatened.
拙者の運命はこの手による。
And now with the reinforcements. Yeah, good retreat here of the Phalanx. Only going for one fight is actually really, really smart here.
就是瞪着草原人来的。Für den König. Yes, Commander.
Way better retreat game than the last time by APM, so we definitely see an improvement here.
Destroy them.
And the chase is on. Andruban dying for the chase, but they caught some units here in the trap area, and maybe they get some nice way out of this trap. Also, the Rattan Pikes still doing their job of rotting down whatever's running there. Also, Schwein showing us one of the rare spears in this tournament. Still a weapon I'm not really convinced of. I mean, the rework made the weapon more fun, but I still think it struggles still a lot with having good game impact, unfortunately. Ah, nice suicide attempt, but the Cocos make it out. But the trap, how unlucky. This trap flew short and got right into the Cocos. Ah, sad. Cocos moved out actually, like, if you saw like the overview picture, you really thought like the Cocos moved the correct direction, and then they didn't. Oh, Hawang player needs to be aware. Is he aware of the trap? Yeah, perfect. By the way, guys, also, that's another thing. If you stay in travelable areas, do not stack units. And if you have a unit that is 100% going to eat the trap because it's causing threat, don't stack infantry on it. Like random flying out trap shots, or the player being occupied with scouting or something will 100% unnecessarily eat damage. Like, and why would we need to stand here? This range here cannot be threatened by other range. You don't need to stand here for having a better fight timing, because like, then you can like stand more towards here or more towards here, depending on where the opponent is. And APM going aggressive in. I like to see this aggression. Very good counter aggression. Some parts of the team being left back, and it looks like this is a bad setup. They are pushing with less players into the bigger blob through a trap. That's not the recipe for success. I do like the idea, but execution was very lacking. And they got absolutely punished for it. And that means the supply is gone, the C point will be gone, and they might even get punished unit rate-wise even more. They cannot fight this. Come on, right? Run, Sheetman guy. Very good calling here, making these units retreat, and to their advantage, the Sheet Maidens are very fortunately fast. So they get most units out, only half a Sheet Maiden, I think, gets punished there. Unit rate is still even, but a lot of map is already gone, and I would argue this end cap is pretty tough if you have to hold it for 10 minutes. Also, Yorkshire Pudding 4, welcome in the chat. Thanks for coming over. And this end cap is also very tricky for APM. A lot of teams developed during, I think, this season into playing more multi-angle pushes here. And that is definitely something APM struggles with a lot, because it requires more individual performance and better individual timing and communication. So in general, I like this development a lot, because I think it's rewarding players for having a better skill set. Maybe also a deeper skill set than just only know how to smash your buttons for fighting. But these teams that get outmatched, I think they feel more lost. Good dive into the archers here by Schwein with his spear, showing why the class has some potential. Also very, very good trap here. They also not a very good waiting position here. Like this corner is very trappable. It's also a moving path for your rotation. So very well trapped and very bad weighted. This is what I said. Like APM struggles still so much with all these like, yeah, basic mechanics that I wish they would focus on. And it looks like, yeah, Aitushki is absolutely dominating the chaos here. Making all their kefs count a lot.
The ambassadors of Valkyries.
And we quickly swap perspective. Because we now want to see if APM is reinforcing the fight enough. Will they bring the mighty hero kef that wipes the point once more? Will they do the little bandits comeback? But the Modaos are standing here in the front. Kef still makes it through a lot. So I guess it was only very few models. Yeah. And also very condensed. Like, by the way, condensing the Modaos like this is a mistake. He had time to see the Kef coming. He did not see a Kef here. He should have been like across here. So yeah, once more proving my point. And playing anti-Kef is the biggest brain task in a team. Especially when you are playing like low counts of anti-Kef. And your whole team will suffer from it if you fail. Yeah, and we see a very convincing and strong win here by Aitushki. Schwein also taking the top spot here, the MVP. Not really crazy values here when it comes to damage against anything, but also the game was very fast over. A lot of dead green archers. Like, I'm actually quite surprised that there were so many green archers on the field. I know they have some niche use, but I'm not the biggest fan of these archers. On the other side, APM Extreme Mejidi. Correct me if I pronounce it wrong. It's not an insult, it's just me not being capable of your name. Take the MVP slot with 100 unit kills. But yeah, a lot of players having a time in the game. But to be fair, it looked so one-sided. Like this, what makes total sense. So yeah, let's hope that when APM has momentum in their hands, that they do better. And we a little comeback. We still hope for APM that they get better approach to the attack. So we all mentally prepare for that. All for the op. With taking a very short toilet break, some snacks, some good duration, and we'll be back in it. Okay, we are back in the lobby that has already been opened. Quickly a reminder of the picks and bans on the screen for you guys. And yeah, let's go a little bit into the chat to summarize game 1. About why you go and defend C. Objectively, C is not the best position in general. And you get trapped a lot, especially in siege games, etc. That's why you don't do it in like normal sieges a lot. Only like if the siege is very bad and you fight anyway. In competitive, like Temple brought a good point up, is like to waste time, because this end cap is very painful to defend, and also supply defense. Like really getting more than one fight on the supply is tough. What I want to add to Temple's answer is that also like you hovering around C enables counter pushes. Like if you see a good opportunity, for example, to catch a snake, if they move to harbor, for example, or if they are kind of spread out and maybe sitting with a weak setup on the supply, then you can catch them off guard. So like hovering around this position gives you options. Because if you see the opponent move, you can decide counter push, run away, reposition, waste, like fake something to waste more time. Yeah, that's the part or the reason why you do it. Yeah, because it gives you little opportunities at the cost of really nothing. If you have a disciplined team that knows how to follow the call, also like retreat by themselves or stand in smart positions, and they don't struggle with like the connection between, you know, their ears, their brains, and then their hands, it is actually very possible to have good success with hovering around the C point. It's also kind of good because the meta before was to just AFK hero cap C immediately. And if you're hovering around, you can maybe just punish these heroes. Since it's more common to hover around C now, it's getting less and less. But yeah, in the beginning when teams started doing this more, a lot of people got just caught for trying to AFK cap C, then getting jumped by 5, 6, 7 players. Yeah, also like the mic thingy, it is unfortunately always in the loading screens, because as I said, like CB in loading screen is for whatever reason screwing over my recording. I have no clue how to fix it. And as I said, like I will not investigate too much, because yeah, my new PC is about to come very soon, and yeah, there I will have to reset or like do a setup fresh and clean from the beginning, and then I hope it's fixed. Okay, and you're also going into the lobby screen. And also a warm greeting to Denetax. Welcome, buddy. One of the persons why I'm very sad that my French is absolutely reduced to either insults or ordering food. But yeah, I wish I could see his stream in stream perspective and understand what he's talking about. Unfortunately, I had Latin in school. Are Varangians OP now? Yeah, I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. They are better than before, arguably, but they are still not really competitive. They will need a little bit more power juice to become relevant again. So yeah, come on guys, fill the lobby. Don't wait with game too long. I need to get entertained.
We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath.
And delaying the inevitable
Courtly
will
grace.
not deny it, unfortunately. So, even if you fear you're getting an absolute booty clap, you need to attend as soon as possible. It's not going to get better. Come on, guys. Lobby is filled. Get us the pop. We need the pop. Ah. Complain and you shall receive. That's how it works. Okay, the Varangians pick on the APM side. Let's see how good it actually is. Also speaking about the unit compositions, I'm actually not a fan of these mass shield maidens. I mean, I might be a hater on shield maidens because I think it's a beta infantry. Because they are not particularly great as a frontline unit. And their DPS is like, it's kind of good, but it's also not good frontally into shields. And if you mass draft them, you rely on your team spreading out so far, which opens you to getting Kev farmed. So mass drafting Sheet Maidens is actually not smart. And the buff is not overpowered enough to justify like taking a lot of them. So Sheet Maidens are rather unit where you put like one on a like solo mission on a flank to get these one-on-one scenarios. Or you have maybe one in a fight that tries to debuff and find a good way into the side of a blob. Or the kind of cleanup, etc. Or maybe hunt heroes with a CC heavy hero. They are not like the bread and backbone shield unit. And we see some Shenjis. And let's see if how they are going to work on this map. Like Shenjis can be super crucial. We already saw this in the A defense, where APM did actually brutal damage with a double Shenji throw into the blob. And APM with a very, very quick B rush. APM being the only team not going for a super prepared push. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Rotation will come in fast enough for sure. I don't know if the Shenji throws are the thing that is doing enough DPS to win a fight with less numbers. And the answer is no. Buck already jumping into the unprotected unit. Musket player also not being the best to defend these Shenjis.
Them out.
And that's the part where you need to like, yeah, you know, acknowledge that role playing a musket while playing muskets is not the way to play. You rather want to be someone who has like mass CC
Zbije się do nieba.
to really guard this unit if you're not distributing this job to someone else. Also, the A side players then coming through the gate were pretty late, and even get now point blocked by Pustois or no caps point made, and they sacrificed tons of units because they took these disadvantageous fights, getting rolled over by basically the whole Atushki team on this side with 10 players, and then getting afterwards 5 players on this side farmed. This is not how you do it, and that's what I say about like the meta evolving, like evolving into a split pushing meta more and more. It's a testament of
Go to war, my sister.
how the team's skill is increasing, and also showing why, like in times where people they didn't have that much experience, most teams were committing to these like one blob strategies. Because it's easier to coordinate and you're not getting punished as often. And Gisho trying to be the lone hero with his Rattan pikes. Unfortunately, the pole axe didn't die. Gisho fighting now 1v2 units. Maybe trying to go for the 1v1 stagger lock. While the rest of APM is trying to set up. Oh, Gisho got the pick. Well played. Still, what is the value? His unit is gone. He's now a lone hero joining his main push. And the other guy will respawn. So now Gishu needs a good reinforcement Kev. And APM need to take space.
No retreat.
Solid trap. Where's the anti-Kev? This Phalanx once again not looking where the Kev is coming. You're not an infantry fighter. If you're the only Phalanx player, it's your job to hold off the common Kev angle. And the Kev angle is definitely this supply and the respawn area. Like, it's 90% here, like this area, especially if your team is not pushed up onto the point. So yeah, another massive mistake by a Phalanx player, costing his team the fight to a big extent. And that's why I always say playing anti-Kev is the role that requires the most brain in the team. And Altushki now going for the Sally. They feel confident. They were winning so so strong in these fights. They are confident with a good reason, and they try to find the respawns. Also capturing one of the outside supplies. 5 minutes left on the clock. B point being taken. But I think that's just enhancing the pain for APM. Players respawning in front of the gate and now getting flanked from all sides. Bad communication there. Is the shot caller already giving up? Because like these players respawn on this side just to get murdered. And now the whole Atushki stack is again on the run to get into the right position. APM absolutely massively getting outspeeded. Solid trap here also in the pre-braced Modaus. Kev sneaking a little through on the side. The Kev players waiting here on the APM side. Now a double, triple commitment of the Kev. Making it somehow through, but there's enough Altushki still living on the point. And the reinforcements are coming in. Supply on the outside is even blocked. So no double units. Death counters already also being higher on APM side because they died once or twice per player. Maybe some hero play action might get them the 8 point, but is this a desirable outcome for them? I guess for the honor, yes. To show character, yes. But is it making them win? Most likely not anymore.
在手，
They're already like in the numbers where getting a proper war like setup for your next team fight is tough. Being down to 389 units. But Atushki has most likely a full perfect comp still in the back. Classic high ground. Hwang leaning up the leftovers on the point of APM. But APM now gathering for a last. I must call it desperation push. Because they're out of time, they're out of units. And they just need to throw everything in for the tiny chance to have success. But they are showing character, and I do really appreciate it. Come on, guys. Throw in everything you have. At least camera-wise, we are swapping to your side. Come on, White Wing, use your Kokos. I feel like the Kokos are walking a lot and not throwing that much. And Buck with a very solid calf catching these archers and making an old man happy. Dead archers are good archers. Oh, and getting also Kokos on top. Nom 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 nom. Good action, Buck. APM makes it deeper than expected into the A point through the gates, but they are now getting farmed by the Hwang. Uncooked bananas dying immediately
就是等着草原人
inside the
来。
Hwang, and now the game is over. APM players start to leave the game. GG, well played. And yeah, still APM, keep your heads high, guys. Keep training. I think you had a tough spot in this league because I think it was arguably a little bit high for your whole composition. But I think it's very honorable that you guys showed up to every match, that you gave your best, and I do hope that you come back stronger next season. Or next tournament, depending on what happens first. So yeah. Shout out to APM. Trying their best in a very tough league for them. And the lobby is over, and we inspect Gecho here, trying his very best. Nice one solo action there with his hero, but not enough to make his team win. On the other side, forward flex, the very solid performance here, so 143 kills. Not high values on zero, actually, but nonetheless enough to claim the MVP here in his team. Slaughtering a lot of low cost units, but definitely good dives here into the specials I played also. That's why I wanted to check on his. A lot of these specials, I mean, Coco and maybe the task during the whole game of him getting into special units. Well played. And after roughly a 50 minutes break, I will see you guys in the next match, which will be Division 1. So if you want to watch Division, you need to go to the official channel. We'll be casting Scrim, because before the season that I will cast all of their games. So yeah, I would heavily recommend watching their game. They're pretty interesting. Well, and yeah, we might also use it to point out some basic mechanics that we want to focus on using time in the games. If you're interested in a little bit more nerd talk about stuff, that's definitely can go for.
Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Virtue is our noblest heritage. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Virtue is our noblest heritage. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. The Empire's prosperity is built upon we must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Passion is the heart of courtly grace. Virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath.
And we are back in the lobby for the last game I'm streaming today, because afterwards I have to play myself. And I also quickly give you the correct picks and bans. No Scrim saving their beloved Star Wars. I think they learned from the game where they had no Star Wars and they looked more shaky. Other side, saving Phalanx also makes a lot of sense, I think. Good multi-use unit. And also helping against all these nasty calves that No Scrim can provide. Line War Crew ban, Rattan Viper ban, and Modao ban actually makes sense. Falconetti ban, in my words, not really necessary. But okay, Hawang Archer ban actually pretty good. Shenji ban,
Courtly grace.
also very solid on this map. Denying all these high ground throws against you is a good thing to do, I would say. That means Fire Archers are open, Kokos are open, where we already have instant counter matchup against each other. Also Sankao and Friklara, welcome in the chat and good luck for your team. Where one of you, I know at least, needs to watch from the outside line. Yeah, for not setting a correct warband, arguably. So yeah, I hope everyone is now ready and we start as on time as possible because I need to leave to my scrim, so there will not be much after talk. I will basically immediately quit when the game is over, just as a little warning in advance, because I need to go to my briefing to fight the most important match of the season against Javali. So we head into the casting stream and hope that they start as soon as possible. Ah, I love these guys. First lobby in this evening that is absolutely perfect on time. I'm in your range. And both of the teams, a big thank you. Huge shout out for being this amazing. Okay, yeah, Flames also open. I forgot to mention it. But yeah, they are part of the holy triangle between Fire Archers, Kokos, and Flames. Countering and killing each other. A little bit less green and blue spam. And we saw in the previous games on the side of No Scrim. On the other side, the Varangians. Vanguards, sorry. Vanguards also going for more blue and green. Bring a lot of Kokos. I'm not... maybe a little bit too many Kokos. Now 3, 4. Arguably one less Coco unit would be a good thing. 3 sets of flames, so they're basically and very clearly going for a 3-fight setup and then having some leftover green units. I do not really know which warbands to prefer, not gonna lie. But yeah, we also see the slingers to open the breach. Yeah, in my eyes, the much better choice compared to the Falconettis. Because even combined, these 2 slingers cost less than a Falconetti unit. So yeah, that's a good choice. Both just at the same time, fast as frick. So that's definitely how we roll over here. Okay, instantly both sides spawned by No Scrim. And it looks like they're immediately going to take down both grades, which makes absolute sense. No crazy counter action taken so far. Oh, they're going also for the double slingers against the B breach. So arguably they're going more for a B-sided push. I think also like this B breach push was in the last tournaments more or less the meta to get a good first entry, especially in the last tournaments that had RT allowed. In general, like the B side is very attractive on this map because the respawn on A. So what you basically want to do is like get a solid fight on B, where you just not get hard clapped basically, and then abuse your respawners to get onto A, because you have such a short way compared to the defender. Because the defender either needs to respawn somewhere here and then run down, which is longer than your way. Also, the supply being like also pretty far away, and ideally even blocked. So yeah, that's why the B side fight is very attractive, and a lot of teams are opting into it. And we see a full rotation through the breach, and I think there we already see a little bit of a sign that we are in a different division. Like teams now opting more into these like 15 versus 15 blob fights instead of trying to like abuse multiple flanking angles, especially with so many specials in the game. Like, I mean, double flames, but immediately getting attacked by No Scrim and the good hero players. As always, I have to speak about it because No Scrim is a team that contains a lot of OG and massive hero users. So yeah, we see a lot of it, and them relying on it against these teams is actually not the worst strategy, and works out perfectly fine here. And they absolutely roll this B fight. Also good supply blocks here, showing good basic mechanics. And that's especially something we want to highlight, because we are in the lower league. No Scrim is kind of a fresh team, even if they contain a lot of super experienced players. And yeah, very, very strong opening here for No Scrim, not losing a lot of time. Really like marching through the breach over the point and getting to the supply. Next station will be the C point that they most likely get for free. VG Rangers here with an instant drop. Also a sign of the like lower league a little bit, because if these players, for example, risk standing here and waiting here, they might catch more traps, they might not rotate back fast enough, etc. So yeah, better safe than sorry is definitely a thing that I could advertise in this lower league, and I would recommend for these newer teams to just minimize the mistake potential. Having solid units here on the top that can stall time, I think having a rotation, 1 to 2 rotational Cavs, a little bit of stall units here on top, but reinforcing mainly the main fight here. Crazy hero dives here. Not really successful. Also risking a set of Shield Maidens. Maybe a little bit overconfident here by No Scrim. But they took the harbor now. And it actually looks like they just want to overpower them in the 15 versus 15. These specials here on the very back of the blob without like proper guarding by more than just thin air behind them is an easy target for No Scrim. They just will dive it. So maybe they go for brute force again. Or we see something nicer that I would definitely see them doing as well, going for a split push. Now the timing is very crucial. They are kind of winning on this side, most likely, unit-wise. And they need to wait with their main blob just a little bit. Good trap here. Also good hold. Good micromanagement here in the top fight. Also no bottom fight engaging. Top fight should be won, so we are zooming in a little bit more on the bottom fight. Using the AI Zergs and the flames to really crack. The blob flames get also mated by these beautiful and disgusting fire archers. Still no danger because the flames were positioned outside of the blob. Smart mini decision here. When you lose them anyway, you better just don't blow up your blob. Supply is blocked and gets cleaned up. So yeah, that's also the supply hold done. And the Rangers are in a position that is very, very tough to play out well. 9 minutes left on this end cap. And also in a unit disadvantage. This will for sure be tough. And the No Scrim blob is marching. Also very good speed here with the Cav, seeing the opportunity. Who is it? Woof Woof again with one of his like very feared Cavs in this league. He had multiple crazy cleans with his Yanyu Dao, and he uses them again, cleaning out this unit. Gets also the reinforcing units to some extent. And now they are blocking off the chokehold. Only anti-cap is needed towards the left side. Do we see better phalanx play here? Not the best organization in the fight, but doesn't matter in the end anyway. They farmed the other side already so hard. And the defenders are forced to run in one by one, and now they get eaten. All the range and on the top is doing nothing, and we basically have the siege problem here. Like, you see this all the time in your siege lobbies. Tons of range standing here and not holding the point. You just get kept, even if you're doing damage from the top. Because people can't even hero block this point against all these units that deal so much damage. Still some lone heroes dancing on the point, buying these very valuable seconds. Unfortunately, they will die without the biggest effect, and their units will get farmed in the end anyway. Very, very quick attempt here. 10 minutes on the clock, and game 1 is already done. Yeah, GG, well played. With Momo as the MVP once more. We know him as the Coco Cooker, the man who absolutely farmed in this elo or in this division with his coconuts, and most likely he did it once again. Also killing opposing kills and could flame one sames. Well played. Team very solid. Take also with very aggressive, also very solid damage against here. Other side, considering especially that the game was short, guys. Deadly Omen here take the MVP, and that's how we go immediately into game number 2 after a very short break.
Virtue is our noblest heritage.
And we are back in the lobby. Quick reminder for picks and bans again. And I do hope they start the next lobby as fast as the first one.
Together.
And we continue the streak of amazing coordination in the organization and the teams. So I get very, very on point to my briefing. And I have, at least a little bit time in between to mentally reset so I can have a good game against Gearbuddy today. Because it's basically deciding if we have a chance of winning CBR or not. For that, we need to 2-0 Gearbuddy, which is a big task. But as always, I'm quite optimistic, and I am looking forward to the game because these games are the best. Like, they're so fun, so much on the line. So there's good amount of adrenaline in it. So perfect setup. This game we are seeing right now, VG Rangers versus No Scrim, game number 2. I also do hope, as much as I like No Scrim, that this game is getting a little bit closer than the first game. And we see some some real tense fights. Alternatively, I would also like a hold by no scrim, at least for me today. Usually, for the sake of entertainment, I want the most dragged out, most close games possible. But yeah, today I feel like I want to be on time.
Is our noblest heritage.
So yeah, get ready. Set up everyone in the observer. And we are good to go. Also, by the way, I already texted, but like, also thanks to Tumel, by the way, for the raid, and also Vonex, thanks for the follow. Both happened, I guess, in my breaks. So yeah, thanks a lot to both of you, and thanks for the support. And now, come on, guys, click go on the lobby. We are ready. We are hyped, and we get what we need. Perfect, perfect. And Grim7, thanks a lot for the follow, buddy. I do really appreciate it. Unit comms kind of the same on less Coco. I appreciate it. On the side of the Rangers. A little bit of an overdraft of Shield Maidens, at least for my taste here, on the side of no scrim. But it's fair, well, not fairly matched on the other side, but I think it will not matter too much if we consider how the first game went. So let's see how they're going to play this. I mean, a lot of Shield Maiden and Rattan round shields could indicate aggressive counter-pushing strategies. And also, Snake Sniper 1, welcome to chat. Thanks for the follow and thanks for the support. Yeah, unfortunately, the cutting out of my mic is in the loading screens. CB somehow, after like one of the last updates, starts messing up with my recording. I have no clue how it's doing it. Yeah, but I'm not digging deeper into fixing it because my new PC is on the way. Then I do set up everything from scratch anyway, and I hope that it's not happening anymore. We see an absolute speed push here by the Rangers. Not the best scenario. Like here, the coordination is not very good. Their point setup is already wiped while their main blob is not committing. They also still have people on A. And no scrim will take a very positive trade, most likely. They just need to take out these shits. Musket on top. Glaive and Longsword already in it from the back. And it looks like an absolute brutal wipe here. Now Yanyu Daos are coming in. Maybe a very strong Yanyu Dao wipe here. Come on, press the button. Wait, was it Yanyu Daos? Yeah, it was Yanyu Daos. Nah, these Yanyu Daos actually really hardcore failed. They had the perfect timing and angle, actually, to do glorious work. Unfortunately, for the Kev player, they got absolutely murdered. But yeah, no scrim now can just retreat. They took their one fight. I think that was, especially in last tournaments, a very common strat. Take one A fight to waste some time to drain some units. And then leave because the reinforcement timing is actually not really good. So yeah, arguably very good basic strategy here. But eating this trap would not be a good strategy, even if it will still not turn around the unit trade fully. But yeah, unnecessary damage taken. You also don't need to cap the supply. Like, capping the supply is waste of time. Because you know they will respawn on the A point. And you have your own supply on the A side as well. So, not the most necessary cap. The Rangers use the time to immediately rush to the harbor, having one player on the offside. So, once again, they are not in the best position to fight, having one player not at their team. And Nostrum could capitalize on it with an aggressive counter push, but they're also using the time to reset their units and go for the more secure supply hold. Also, thanks a lot, Temple, for sending in once again the link for the CBR homepage. Always helpful. Thanks a lot, Temple. And yeah, No Scrim is already here on the supply. Ready to fight, having Cocos and Flames. Ready to punish these very tight chokes. Dropping off the C point. Okay, yeah, Dewey Blade didn't commit for it there because there was a chain dart nearby. No Scrim really going here for the safe place. And I also do think that's the correct choice, because they do not need to take an unnecessary risk. Good musket aggression here on the top by Momu. Finding himself maybe some juicy bombs into these range units and maybe even kill some Cocos pre-fight. RIP. I'm very sorry, guys. I didn't swap scene because we were talking too much about the lobby. I'm very, very sorry. So you missed a very brutal massacre of the set, and you need to enjoy this audiobook. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I corrected it immediately. Okay, back to the game.
Für König und Vaterland.
Now you should correctly see what is on the screen. I'm very, very sorry once again. But yeah, audiobook edition, No Scrim murdered them on A point, had a safe retreat. And now they're fighting here on the supply.
Our legend makes us immortal.
Für König und Vaterland.
长刀在手，可斩苍龙。
And the fight is going on.
König und Vaterland.
And No Scrim here with the, still solid hold. The flames are cooking. Ranger units keep dying, but now the Cav reinforcements might hit very hard here. No anti-Cav ready. And these Yan Yudaos most likely will hurt a lot, and yes, they do. End cap. Here we go. Very fast rotation back here by these No Scrim players.
Für König und Vaterland.
And that is also a quick game. VG Rangers here with a much, much better gameplay. Way more coordinated, way more confident
König und Vaterland.
in the next fights here. First fight was actually mistimed and they got absolutely punished for it.
Vaterland.
But here they go. Actually really well played on the supply fight, and now the end cap is the part of the map that gets a little bit tough to defend for the most part.
und Vaterland.
Also good musket setting up here on the hill already, trying to get space for the musket players, sniping the flames. Interesting hiding spot for the flames. Not fully abusing the bushes. But VG Rangers now pushing up. And pushing deep. Now, rotation trap, not the luckiest. Their flames are cooking against the wall, while they need to cook the main blob, and this is very crucial here. The special players decide the battle massively. Solid Cav running through and glitching through the anti-cav at least for some meters, while the flames are still cooking. And this might be the deciding cav. Yeah, frontline was already thinned out, and the Dagger X keep doing damage. And the shields are marching forward. Very, very solid fight here. Arguably the flames definitely decided it. VG Ranger flames flamed here into the wall, trying to hit the top, and didn't get well micromanaged. I think it was V mode actually, to shoot the front. So yeah, massive mistake by the special player, having a huge negative impact. Nonetheless, the fight is still close. The reinforcements from the bottom supply from Rangers come in earlier into the fight, and No Scrim definitely take a very smart mini reset here, a little bit to the back. So they get a full blob versus a full blob once again. They have the better unit trade, so they just can't get overrun here, and then they will win this match.
König und Vaterland.
Of course, in the chat, guys, always sub to my only crank. Only available on Twitch. Okay, last fight probably here. No Scrim, very dense blob, anti-cav too late, so all these cavs do damage to the infantry. But this is most likely not enough. Now the Phalanx is in position and will eat all these spammed cavs. Holy crap, this is a lot of horse kebab they can enjoy after the battle. All these horses on a pole. Solid trap might take a toll on the No Scrim setup, but is not going to fix the win chances of the Rangers, most likely. We have another Phalanx marching up. Staying with the blob, but one cap already on the end cap. Now in the duel with the Rattan round shields. And the Rattan round shields with generous support of heroes, winning even that one-on-one. Next Cav rushing to the end cap. Yeah, in the desperate try to finish. But unfortunately, this is not enough for VG Rangers. I think they did put some solid pushes out. The screwed up unit trade from the A and B fight actually, in the end, was basically losing them the game, because like taking the objectives in general, they had a very good pace. They didn't lose a lot of time for most of the objectives. They just lost too many units on the A and B fight, and in the end, couldn't make up for it here on the supply fight and the end cap fights. Yeah, No Scrim going for the classical spawn farm, trying to improve their stats. Here you see the greedy siege mentality. But who am I to critique it, since greed is definitely my second name in this game. So yeah, well played No Scrim. Securing a 2-0 to finish off their season. Also, no Ranger is dropping out so far. They have their hopes high. I do respect the character, the strong backbone, the strong will to try until the very end. To not give up on the last day of the season. And now, Center. Chasing down Center the Grizz. For our entertainment. Let's see. These last minutes of the fight belong to Daddy. Swapping target. And also pressing the outplay button. Sending him to the Shadow Realms. Next Polex. Getting chased now by a whole blob. Brutally murdered by a whole gang. And they still keep going. I do actually respect that a lot, guys. As much as I'm under a little bit of time pressure, I actually enjoy it. Okay. Maybe some nice dual bait action. Come on, Unique, entertain us. Dodging the chain art, very well. And I'll give him the business, Unique. Make me happy. Bomb dual blade, okay. He didn't have the outplay button, okay. That's why he retreated a little bit. Okay, Clara chasing the chain dart. Getting an unpleasant experience against multiple people. But he still is coming out on top. Oh, defensive ultimate. As much as I hate to see it. It nearly saved him. And now we see a nice deathmatch here on the outskirts. I love it. I think that's a glorious finish for today's stream. Enjoying this deathmatch. Come on, Unique. Hunt down the chain dart. Unfortunately, that was his last action. Momu being the bomb musket, I think. Maybe not the best PvP class here in the end. The deathmatch squad, WRZ, Preclara and Chimeran fighting until the very end, not going down. And once Momo taking the MVP for his team, taking out 9 flames in Kokos. And also a lot of units, I guess, with his units with 8. Eng Cbr also taking the MVP on the other side. Yeah, with this very short summary, I'm leaving you guys and we see us on the main stream when Rough Justice plays against everybody. And I hope all you guys come and I will rate us over.